have stories. Every single one of us. From the highest of the high to the lowest of the low, we all have stories. Exploring the world for the greatest stories of all time.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Aron O'Dowd Show.
The Aron O'Dowd Show. Our soul is the screen upon which we project our dreams. What's your story?
Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing on an amazing Tuesday afternoon? Depending on where you are in the world, it's the Aron O'Dowd Show, and we've got another incredible guest. You know, AI and machine learning is a buzzword at the moment, but why do you do broadcasting and have your own, where you can help people in things like Sony Productions to get all the amazing content out to the world, or be in Toastmasters, or maybe do your triathlon, half-iron triathlon today. Our guest, Seema Menon, I think that's right because it's a big mouthful name word. Hello, welcome to the show, Seema. How are you doing?
I'm good, Aron. Lovely to be here.
You know, you're a very accomplished woman. You've done some amazing things, but what's the one that steps out of your mind, like, I gotta tell them at the pub or the bar or a restaurant with my family or friends?
Ooh, I would say I participated in the London Olympics in 2012, both in the opening and the closing ceremonies. Don't get me wrong, I'm not an athlete or I didn't compete, but I was one of those drummers in the pandemonium drumming. And at the end, I was wearing the blue bowler hat with a little light bulb on top. So yeah, that's a good pub story to have.
Wow, how would that feel being in the ceremony of the Olympics, you know?
It was surreal. I mean, I never thought I would ever watch the Olympic players over there up front, interact with them, and be part of a team that created history. So for me, it was a great experience. All the rehearsals that we did at Stratford, it was just amazing. I've made friends for life. And even after the Olympics, we have carried on, doing drumming for different events, creating awareness, whether it is to stop a hospital from closing down, drumming our way, creating noise for that. So we did a lot of good activity together.
You do broadcasting. Tell us how you got into it.
That's interesting. So after my MBA in marketing, I was looking at opportunities and serendipitously, I got into broadcast. I started in research, trying to see how I can support the sales team and the branding team, and moved into brand management for a channel which was at that point looking at launching Friends. And I loved it, working behind the scenes. And then because I helped the brand team and the sales team to get a big client doing some activity together, I was then eventually moved into sales, and the rest is history. I was head of sales for Sony Pictures for almost 14 years, looking after just UK and one channel, and then moving on to multiple regions, and managing virtual teams long before it was the norm, much before COVID. So that's been my journey.
Fabulous. And what did you love about it?
I love the fact that we are able to connect with people and change their moods, right? So when you come and sit in front of a television screen, you're trying to forget your day-to-day lives, and you're trying to get immersed into a virtual space, which helps you to probably, come back and feel a little normal amongst the chaos of regular life. And I remember I used to work late night, especially on a Friday evening is when a lot of clients would wake up and say, we need this ad to go out urgently. It is last minute, but can you do something about it? And I and my team would say, yes, we would do it. And we'd work till late in the night just to realize and to be told by my senior that we're not in the business of life and death, right? You can wait, things can wait. And I think that was very interesting, doing things and seeing that come to life and getting quick responses and feedback on how it's been from the audience. I think that's amazing experience.
We think sales is boring. You got to do this and that and market and pitch, but probably working in broadcasting made it even fun, right?
It did, right? Because you're not selling a product, you're selling a service, a dream. You're talking to clients, creating ideas, creating shows for them, and working with production teams, working with on-ground teams. So it's not just plain selling. There's a lot more, and my experience in marketing came into play in ideation of thoughts, when it came to launching new channels, when it came to digitizing our channels. So I think it gave a lot of exposure and experience for me, and I loved it.
You started off marketing, and now you're doing amazing. But what made you jump to be in marketing at the very beginning, university?
I think it was probably Philip Kotler, and I mean, I sound very old and ancient now.
Oh.
But reading about how marketing can change people's perception, and also understanding what is it that people want, right? You don't market your product saying this is what you need and this is what the benefits are, and you spread your feathers like a peacock to show, oh, this is what my product can do. But when you do marketing, you actually understand what is it that the person that you're trying to pitch to is actually looking for, and then try and create something that meets their expectations. And I think that is what helped me, just to understand the psychology and to try and see how we can fit with what are their expectations. And that's the reason I did an MBA in marketing.
You don't sound like you're in the UK. It sounds like you're from a different nationality. Tell us more.
Yes, so I'm originally from India. I'm from Mumbai. And I moved here many years back because my husband got relocated here to manage the UK market. And I took a sabbatical for a year, and I said, oh, I'm coming here for a holiday, just going to enjoy, spend some time, and then go back. That never happened, right? And I'm here.
It's funny, we live in one country for years, but we don't blend into it in some way.
Surprisingly, for me, it's been the other way around. I don't think, had I been in India, I would have had the opportunity to participate in Olympics. Right? We have 1 billion people. What is the chance that a Seema would get a chance to be in Olympic ceremony? And I think I've got a lot of opportunities, and London has been an amazing place for me to keep reinventing myself, to keep experimenting, to keep doing new things. And I think I'm grateful for that. So I love people over here, and it's helped me reinvent myself.
What do you dream? What are you boldly creating and defying the reality of possibilities?
I strongly believe that you change as a person with experiences. As long as your values are the same, you would love to keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. For me, it's after a 20-year career in broadcast media, making that shift into technology and AI and machine learning was a huge shift. When everyone said, you are doing extremely well, why do you want to start from ground zero again? But I think that's what makes you feel that you're doing something new rather than being stuck in the old processes, right? And you need to keep doing that. You need to keep challenging yourself, and you learn new things. You find that part of yourself which you never knew existed within you.
So you decided, hey, I'm gonna go leave this Sony broadcasting and go and learn from MIT and machine learning and AI, right?
Yeah, actually, that just once again, that was it was serendipitous. So whilst I was heading sales with Sony, I was invited to do a lot of keynotes in various industry forums. I was asked to give a keynote on AI and its impact on media, and I loved it, doing the research, talking to my teams, talking about how machine learning and AI is helping us and changing the way we work. And so I decided, okay, is this a fad? Is it just a one-off thing? Or do I really enjoy it? So I went on to pick up a course on AI from MIT to see if I really loved this. And I loved it. So I decided 2020, it's going to be a new decade for me, trying out something. I don't want to regret not having tried things. So I decided to switch into the tech space at the beginning of 2020.
It sounds like you trade your stiletto heels for your Birkenstock flats, right?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said it looks like you traded your stiletto heels in for your Birkenstock sandals.
Yes,
Yes,
yes, I did that. No more heels, and in fact, I gave up heels a couple of years before, because when I started training for the marathon, the London Marathon, I realized heels were painful after having run 6 miles. So,
wow, what made you do the marathon?
I've never been a runner, and I think it was probably the midlife crisis. I wanted to do something different, something challenging. I remember when my daughter was very little, and when she would run and she would say, "Catch me," I would be quite conscious about running behind her, and being very conscious about myself. And I thought, this is one thing which I didn't do much of. So I went and signed in for the London Marathon, knowing fully well, out of 100,000 people, what are the chances that I will get through the ballot? And as luck would have it, I got through the ballot in October, and I started panicking because doing 100 meters itself was a huge challenge for me. So yeah, I started running, all the jelly beans in my belly, which would keep shaking long after I stopped running. It was inch by inch I progressed, and I do remember the first run at London Marathon. When I started, I was going through a lot of self-doubt at the starting line. And then I had a person running in front of me, and his jersey said, "I'm 80 today. This is how I celebrate my birthday." And I said, if he can do it, I can definitely do it. So I just kept him as my goal, and I kept following him through.
How did it feel to achieve it?
It was amazing. When I completed it, one is I created a new message for myself, that any challenge, if you put your heart to it and if you create a discipline around it, you can achieve that. So I used this as an anchor whenever I faced any new challenges in life. If I can do a marathon, being a non-runner, I can definitely do things. And I think I also wanted my daughter to have that, that her mom can achieve things, and to get that message that it's possible to overcome any challenge in life.
Was that something you were lacking through your life?
Not really, but I think over time you get very complacent and comfortable in a particular lifestyle. So I wanted to change that messaging for myself.
Yeah, it's funny how comfortable and relaxed we get into our comfort routines,
Yes, that's true.
You're a Toastmaster. I bet you love public speaking and sharing the gabble of the vocal words,
Yes. I have been in sales, right, for a very long time. And if you put me in a room in front of 4 or 5 people, or even 10, 15 people, I can probably have a conversation till someone shuts me down. But you put me in a room, I did find a challenge initially when I would speak. I was probably one of the few female sales heads, and if you put me in a room of men in sales, in media, I had to shout twice as loud to be heard. And I realized that there was something that needed to be done. And not only from my end, but also to ensure that other women who are in their leadership journey get that same, don't have to face these barriers. So that was what uh, made me join Toastmasters, so that I could probably speak to a larger group of people confidently, and also help women in leadership to gain that confidence to speak out, and to help others grow in that journey too.
Why do you think women have trouble having confidence in leadership roles?
I think many women, I mean, this is researched well. There are a lot of stats around this. Women do not apply for anything unless their CV matches almost 90% of the job role requirements. They have always been the person that work behind the scenes, trying to be perfectionist because of societal norms. And I think that's what stops them from taking that step unless they are 100% sure that they can achieve. Whereas it's not the same for men generally. Men usually take that step and learn on the way. It's like a good example. Reid Hoffman had said that jump off the cliff and you assemble a plane on your way down. Women wouldn't do that. They probably assemble the plane first before they jump off the cliff. And I think that's that mindset change that I wanted to help other women in industry who are looking to build their leadership role or to create that key persona in the industry to help them achieve those.
Women who who work in a very high-end, male-dominant, high performance, do they kind of become that where they have to scream and roar and be kind of that male energy to get themselves heard in some way?
Yes, initially I think to a large extent in the early stages of my career, I was trying to emulate the men that I saw as my mentors around, and probably talk and behave the same way. But over time, I realized, and experience is a very good teacher, right? So over time, I realized that it's very important to bring your own personality and your own voice, so that, especially in a world where there are AI tools now, they need to understand how women think, and get different viewpoints across. Otherwise, it's very easy for one way of thinking to come through. And if you're looking at innovation and looking at an organization growing into different spaces, you need to have different voices to ensure that you pick the right one that's good for your organization.
Yeah, I think women in tech need to be more appreciated, more out there, I think,
There are a lot of women in tech who work in at the ground level, doing the coding, doing all the work, and these are repetitive tasks. So with AI coming in, a lot of repetitive tasks can be completely replaced by a tool. So therefore, you find that a lot of women will be the ones that are being affected with AI coming in. Hence the need to bring in that creativity element and to help women be more creative.
How and what can women impact the world of entrepreneurs?
I think one, you need to have a lot of investments going in women entrepreneurs. There is a lot of investment venture capitalists out there that invest in businesses that are led by men. You find very few which are targeted to women who want to start on their entrepreneurial journey, and therefore there are organizations now that are that understand this and they want to create that for women around. And so whether it is women in AI, set up by a lot of organizations, and I'm part of quite a few, trying to see how we can, one, keep ourselves abreast of what is the latest trends that's happening, and also help other women in that journey collaborate together to support their own businesses too. So there is still a disparity, but I guess with all of us working together, we will come close to that. To get that equity between men and women entrepreneurs.
Do women kind of have to be a little bit ballsy in the men's environment to be heard as a startup entrepreneur in some way?
I think it's changing. Once upon a time, that is what was needed, but I think people now understand and respect the ideas and the way they're presented. It is no longer typical, it's not cast in the typical structure that you need to be loud to be heard. As long as your idea helps solve some issues or solve some challenges, I think it's good enough too.
So for you personally, where do you stand? I know you're creating all these amazing projects, but where do you see your voice in the world of entrepreneur women, technology, startups, etc.?
I see myself as an enabler. So for me, one of my goals is to help other women achieve their goals too. So create that pathway for them, remove the obstacles as far as possible, help them overcome any of their own limiting beliefs that they may have, and create that support system for them to thrive. Because if I'm able to help others based on my experience and my knowledge, I feel that that's a life. It's a very fulfilling life, right? If you're able to make a small change in one person's life, that itself is good enough.
Wow, and that's the legacy you want to create, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. If someone was listening to this and they say, this is what I want to do based on what you do, what advice would you give them?
I would say go for it. If you want to do something, just to go for it, and then start working backwards on what are the resources you need, what is a date by which you want to launch, and who are the people that can help you. Do you need to pick up some courses to understand what or how you can get help from? There are plenty of women mentors out there who are happy to help. Reach out, don't hesitate. At most, what you will hear is they don't have the time right now, but they will be more than happy to support you. So don't ever think, will someone have time for you? Everyone has time. We are all here to support you in that journey. So go for it. Dream big. They say the castles are built in the air. You need to now put the foundations under that, right? So
Right.
work on that.
And regarding AI and machine learning, where do you sit in the fence? Are you pro or for against it?
Ooh, that's quite an interesting question.
Yeah.
I think AI is here to augment your work as a tool. So if you are doing repetitive tasks, then AI is a fabulous tool to manage that and give you back your time to think creatively of how you can utilize AI to make a better lifestyle or change things for everyone. And I think that's how we should take it as, and not be afraid of AI. We should be able to use AI for our benefit to help others and to help each other grow in that journey.
If I hear AI in the media and think, wow, this is fantastic, what tools or where do you would recommend people to start with to get their feet in the water?
I'm not an expert in that, but I would say there are plenty of tools, open AI tools that you could experiment with. Look at large language models. Look at understanding. Play around with some of the tools. See what works for you. Create your own tool if you feel that it can help overcome some challenge that you see. Go for it. And there are so many forums out here. You can go to meetups and various other forums, hear people speak, interact with them, and that's the journey. Everyone is on a journey right now, so there's not one single holy grail that you go for. You experiment with things, and you go with it and learn on the way.
I know with AI advancing our productivity and stuff like that, but are we really going to be losing the authentic being in our creative aspect in some way?
I do feel that human connections and human communication will still remain. It needs to be there, right? There was a classic example which used to be quoted in the past. I don't know how true it is, but there was an example of Elon Musk when he set up a Tesla factory many years back. He said humans need not apply, and he wanted it to be completely managed by robots. And he thought that the production percentage would double or probably even go 10 times. But over time, the production kept reducing. And the reason was because when there was a challenge, which the AI tool didn't know, the robots didn't know how to fix, it just kept escalating to a level because there was no human intervention to fix that, right? So I think AI as a tool works amazingly well when humans interface with it. There are automated tools to do keyhole surgeries, knee surgeries, with a precision that it's very difficult for a human to do that. But should there be a challenge that comes up in the midst of the surgery, I think that's where a human surgeon is needed to take that decision and make that change. So you really need to have humans in the interface. I keep speaking of humans as a separate species. What I mean is us. You and me need to be there in that. And also to prevent any biases, right? You need to have viewpoints. How is an AI tool helpful to someone who is probably deaf and blind? Right? Because where does it come? How does it understand how to help them? So these are some of the questions that are raised, and that's where we need the collective human intelligence to come up with solutions for these, and using tools, AI tools, to help that.
I from listening to you, sound like a big mind with a big curiosity. Where did that come from?
I think I've had very strong women in my life. So my mom she retired as a teacher, but she was one who got the President's Award for being a best teacher back in India. And she was always curious about things, doing, experimenting with things. And she's always set a high bar for me. Equally, my mother-in-law, she's a very strong woman in her own right, having done her post-graduation at the age of 60. And I think having two strong women influencers, that's helped me to keep believing in myself that, put your heart to what you like and go for it. Nothing should stop you from dreaming big and achieving those.
No, for sure. And they are inspirational models in life.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. Cool. Where do you see yourself, or where do you see the world, or what do you want to leave your fingerprint on in what you're doing?
I think I want to keep learning, keep trying to make changes in people's life. help young people. I'm a mentor with King's Trust, and I mentor young people who are stepping into their careers, and giving them the confidence to speak using my Toastmaster experience to support them in that journey and feel confident to voice their opinions. I think that's where I can help the next generation grow and become confident individuals. There's one classic example that I want to share. As a Toastmaster, I did a workshop for women, not yeah, actually it was women in Mind Harrow, the mental health organization.
Mm-hmm.
They had a program called Head to Work, and we did a workshop for everyone who were now ready to get back into work after having had counseling. And it was giving them the confidence to go out, interview, and build that self-confidence to be themselves. And there was one particular individual who was very hesitant. In fact, the first session, she would not meet your eyes just in case you would pick them up, right? So they would constantly keep looking down. And a few weeks after the series that we did, she went on to Malaysia to speak to a room full of 500 people at a medical convention, speaking about mental health and why it's not a taboo and how to overcome that. And that was amazing to see this person transform and be able to stand in front of 500 people from the medical fraternity and speaking about it. I think these are moments that make you feel, you can help people, and it changes their lives. So I want to keep doing that. So I also do yoga and meditation, teach that at a spiritual center, helping people build that connection. And this started during COVID, where that social connection was missing. And it's been 5 years now. So I've been teaching that and enjoying when you get the energy back from the people who attend these sessions. So yeah, it's just living a fulfilling life. I think that's the legacy I want to leave.
Is meditation, yoga, and fulfillment life, is that something you're taught at a young age?
I think probably it wasn't a conscious teaching, but it was probably interwoven into my life at some point, and it has always been there. But not, it wasn't indoctrinated within me. If you understand the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. And what was that stage of life you realized, I gotta go do this? This is what I need to do.
I think when I started my career and when I started having a team of young people reporting to me, I was a workaholic, and I expected my team to be like me, to be clones of me, and I was trying to create a clone of me in each of them. And if I can work till 9:30, why can't you? But then over time, with experience, I realized that everyone has a different personality. Everyone's expectation of their career and role is completely different. Right, so you can't expect everyone to be identical, and I think that's when as I became a better human being. I think I started looking within myself to understand why is this need to push people. And I think yoga helped me balance myself. Meditation helped me calm myself, not to react, but to put myself in their shoes, to understand what they're going through, and therefore try and help find solutions that will help them shine better. I think these are tools that have helped me grow as an individual and grow as a better person too over time.
It seems like the fiery dragon found his zen spot to just
You can say that. And maybe that's why I go out running marathons, climbing mountains, because I need to vent it out.
Would you consider, workaholic, but you consider adrenaline junkie as well if you want to go climb mountains and run as well in some way, Yeah,
I love it. It's when I go running, I run on my own. So it's my me time. It's my bubble, and it helps me overcome. Usually, when I come back, I've always found a solution to the challenge that I've been playing around in my head. So I think running is the best coach for me.
Fabulous. What else have you achieved? Because you're this incredible woman that's just like doing this and doing that. It's like, reading through your bio, it's like, what else has this woman not done,
I haven't done a triathlon yet. So yeah, that's one of the things I haven't done. It's a long way for me to reach that.
Wow. As we come to a close, what advice or wisdom or stories would you like to impart with our audience?
So they say that a mind that has been stretched never comes back to its original dimensions, right? So if you go out of your comfort zone and you do something, it's very difficult for you to go back to the old state of where you were. You always stretch yourself, go do things which gives you a lot of satisfaction at the end of the day. Don't do things because that's trendy. Do things that help you understand yourself or gives you the satisfaction of that. What I would say is keep doing things, keep reinventing yourself. It doesn't matter if you've spent 20 years in one career. You can always switch careers and do something that you like. Keep growing and never stop growing. And that's it.
Fabulous. Where can people find more about you?
So my LinkedIn is up. They can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm also part of Headstride Limited. I do mentoring over there. So LinkedIn is the best place to connect with me, and I would love to have a coffee with anyone who wants to have a conversation.
Headstride. It sounds like I'm striving, running it in my head.
Yeah, so I do training workshops, and it's about leadership and sales that I focus on. Also bring in, if you're suffering from anxiety, how to work on that. But it's not telling people how to sell or how to lead. It's talking to people how to overcome any challenges that they have. So hence we talk about getting into the head, overcoming those barriers and helping them do a better job as a leader or as a salesperson. So hence the term Headstride.
Wow, I love it. Seema, I want to say thank you so much. It's been a blast and exciting to get to know more about you, and it seems like you're on a path for empowering women in everything you do.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, and look forward to connect with you again and speak to you.
There you go, everybody. It just shows you. Put your runners on. Go beat the concrete jungle, because it doesn't matter what you want to do, what you do. Once you love it, you gotta do it, because passion is the secret. Everything that starts within, ends within. So remember, stay tuned for another incredible episode next week as we dive deep into the superheroes to understand who, what, where, when, and why makes them uniquely special. So remember, rock on and tune in.
Thank you for listening to the Aron O'Dowd Show, where the world's best stories are told. If you like, please post a review or subscribe to the show. To find out more, contact us at aronodowd.com. That's ARONODOWD.com. We're always ready to share another magnificent tale from the world's best storytellers. You. So stay tuned and rock.